Now, this is News Channel 6.
There's still 2 more hours to go at tonight's Hotter Than Hell Consumer Show.
Yeah, that's where Michael Grace is live tonight. Michael, it looks like a cyclist paradise out there.
Well, Chris and Ashley, I'm not a rider myself, but all of a sudden I've seemed to have found what I'm going to invest in on my next paycheck. Really into the riding world now. Maybe not the bike first, maybe a little bit expensive for me, but we have a ton of vendors here in Durance House base in Wichita Falls, but there are vendors from all over the place, Louisiana, California, even a vendor from Canada, I've been told. And there are about 60 of them. Everything you need for a bike race, you can find it here. There's helmets, there's socks, there's bags. Maybe I can hold all my extra wire with one of those bags. But seriously, they're encouraging to bring the whole family. As you know, like I said, I'm not a rider, but there is something for everyone. We've got the jerseys over here. And one of the coolest things that I've found from the Wichita Falls Art Association is this picture right here for Hotter Than Hell. They're actually going to be auctioning off $1 for a ticket, right?
$1 for a ticket.
$1 for
tickets for $5.
6 tickets for $5. So that is just something perfect for the office and a bunch of other stuff that you're definitely going to want to check out. Chris and Ashley, back to you guys.
Thank you, Michael. The Triple H also has restaurants in Wichita Falls preparing for a big boost in traffic. In fact, Michael Green is a Hotter Than Hell veteran. He travels to Wichita Falls every single year and says while he loves riding in the event, he also looks forward to checking out all the shops and places to eat. And that's the customer service is always top-notch.
The people here are really friendly and treat us great. And there are several businesses, restaurants and hotels, bike shops that we stop at while we're out here. So yeah, people treat us really, really well.
And this weekend means a lot to the city. Overall, the Hotter Than Hell 100 brings in $6 to $8 million to Wichita Falls and surrounding areas.
When you think about the Hotter Than Hell 100 bike ride, thousands of cyclists line up along Scott Street. That's probably what comes to your mind. And while that is the biggest part of the event and the biggest logistical challenge, Mason Brighton reports there are plenty of other things happening over the next few days.
The Gravel del Fuego gravel grind has gained popularity over debuting in the last Hotter Than Hell back in 2019. Those in charge of the event say that it's given riders a whole new challenge to the 4-day event that brings cyclists from all over the world to Wichita Falls.
And we go out east into Clay County and we ride around on the gravel roads out there and then come back and have some fun.
The Gravel del Fuego gravel grind ride is back bigger and better in its second year.
All right. It's a lot of fun doing it. One of the things I look forward to is the camaraderie that we have in the gravel world and the mountain biking world both.
Things kick off Saturday evening long after the big ride. Then that's when the fun begins.
You get to watch the sun go down and then the moon come up and it cools off and it's really pleasant and it's just a blast.
The idea to add this unique event came after a few cyclists from Wichita Falls participated in a similar event in another part of Texas.
And afterwards we thought we could do this in Wichita Falls. So we talked to Hotter Than Hell about doing it and they were game.
The first Gravel del Fuego got David Coleman hooked. Now he's in charge of the whole thing.
I rode my mountain bike on the gravel ride and it was so much fun that I went out and bought a gravel bike and have just been loving it.
It's a new way to traverse Texoma on 2 wheels. All you're going to need is your helmet, lights on your bike, and a good attitude.
It's just about the fun of the ride and it's about the spirit of the ride, and it's just you don't get that from a lot of other things, but the gravel ride is for sure one of those.
I mean, this is our biggest event. It brings all the cycling community together, all the friends, and you get to show off Wichita Falls.
The Gravel del Fuego kicks off Saturday night at 7:05 p.m. right outside the Wichita Falls Brewery. David Coleman adds that with late registration, it already looks like they'll have more riders participating than back in 2019. Mason Brighton, News Channel 6.
Thanks, Mason. And of course, News Channel 6 is going to be covering the Hotter Than Hell action, bringing it to your big screen, small screen, whatever you got. The big race starts just after 7 when the big cannon fires and we get to fly over from Shepherd Air Force Base. But we're going to be there early. We're going to be there at 6:30 to start all the fun and capture everybody's anticipation. It is something that you really don't want to miss.
That's right, Chris. We will be out there at the starting line to see it all and to show you. Ken will be there too. And Ken, you've told us before it's likely going to be breezy that morning.
Yeah, breezy and warm as we head towards the Hotter Than Hell. But for right now, our attention is on the Caribbean. Here's our developing tropical storm. This is Ida. Now, earlier in the week, we were thinking that Ida could head towards Texas. but now it's looking like it's going to head towards Louisiana. Could be a major hurricane perhaps over the weekend. Temperature-wise, we're in the 90s outside, mid-90s in most locations. The hot spot would be Vernon at 98 while we're sitting at 94 here in the Falls. You factor in the humidity and it feels more like upper 90s to near 100 at this hour. So if you're going to be out and about this evening, the weather not bad. This time of the year, once the sun begins to set, even though it's warm outside, it's a comfortably warm atmosphere. Temperatures in the 90s and 80s with winds out of the southeast. In your forecast into the weekend, we do see a cooling trend, but we could get hot again towards the middle of next week as Ida stays off to our east.
New COVID numbers are out for Wichita County, and a bit of good news today. It was the first day this week there were no COVID-related deaths to report, but there were another 152 people that tested positive, and that makes a total of 645 just this week. 71 people are also still in the hospital.
Along with many other new Texas laws, Senate Bill 3979, the critical race theory, is going into law September the 1st. Tanner DeLeon joins us tonight. Tanner, on paper, it really doesn't seem like it's going to change much when it comes to the classroom.
Yeah, that's right, Chris, because after speaking with experts today, they said that the critical race theory is not typically taught in grades kindergarten through 12th. And the bill states that it will ban the teaching of critical race theory in Texas schools. However, they are still required to teach on America's history of racism along with current events. So experts told me that they believe the people behind this bill might have the wrong interpretation of what critical race theory actually means.
Critical race theory isn't about white guilt. It's not about making people feel today guilty for things that were done a long time ago. It's not about ascribing social patterns to individuals that have nothing to do with those social patterns.
Dr. Christensen says, in his opinion, there is more to this story on why the bill was even brought up in the first place.
In a way, this is sort of an ostrich bill. It's a way to stick our heads in the sand and ignore the issues of persistent racial inequality in our society on a systemic and institutional level.
Dr. Christensen believes that the bill also contradicts itself a little based on how it is presented, because the bill includes a list of historical documents that the students must be taught, including the history of white supremacy, the institution of slavery, the eugenics movement, and the Ku Klux Klan. But it is banning that teaching of critical race theory. Again, this will be starting September 1st. Tanner DeLeon, News Channel 6.
Thanks, Tanner. Coming up, who the Biden administration believes is behind bombings in Afghanistan that killed dozens of people, including U.S. military members today. And how Haiti's doing after being hit by that massive earthquake that killed thousands of people.
Texoma weather info available right now. The First Alert 6 weather app. Download and check it now.
It is Hotter Than Hell Saturday. It is 40th anniversary of Hotter Than Hell, and we have you covered. Look at that. 5 live shots ready to go all over the Hotter Than Hell, all over downtown Wichita Falls. We could not be more excited to be a part of this 40th anniversary.
Chris, you know I'm ready. We are all ready, and I know all of these cyclists, y'all are all ready too, correct? Yeah! Woo!
There it is. There's a flower. That always scares me.
Makes us jump. I want to show you these riders. They are about to go. And Hotter Than Hell 100, the 40th year, officially underway.
Yeah.
Live, local, now. This is News Channel 6.
Some drizzle overnight could create some more slick spots tomorrow morning.
Emily Bjorklund and Michael Grace are going to have more on how that's affecting drivers. But first, here's Ken with a look at what's happening outside right now.
Yeah, a lot to talk about in the weather. Really extreme time, interesting time to be in the world of weather in our part of the country.
Well, the wet stuff and the freezing temperatures have kept state and county agencies pretty busy today, laying down brine and sand to keep those roads from getting just too slick.
Emily Bjorklund joins us live to kick off our team coverage on this First Alert Weather Day with a look at how the roads are looking right now, Emily.
Live in Wichita Falls, Emily Bjorklund, News Channel 6.
Well, as temperatures do start dipping again as night falls, our team coverage continues. Drivers are once again going to be feeling the effects. Michael Grace joins us live. Michael, almost all drivers have experienced some kind of slippery skid today.
Michael Grace, News Channel 6.
Good advice there, Michael. Thank you. There were a lot of closures today because of last night's ice that fell. And with more winter weather expected tonight, we anticipate many more closings and cancellations again. So keep your eyes on the screen tonight and on the News Channel 6 app and our Facebook page as we continue to update those for you when they do come in.
The weather also forced the Wichita Falls, Wichita County Public Health District to postpone first dose vaccine appointments set for today. All appointments are being rescheduled. A second dose vaccine clinic, originally set for Saturday and also set to be one of our coldest days, is now happening Friday.